Alright, so yeah, so General Shao, like I wanted to talk specifically about when the sword gets put down. So you do down forward, you put the sword down. You got about 6 seconds to play with. That's what I've estimated. It's really, it's got a couple different uses. Obviously, like most of the time you're just doing like the most practical way, you're just doing combos into it, right? Something like this, putting them back on the sword, and you pick it up, and you kind of, you're just playing with the sword the whole time, the axe, whatever you want to call it. You're just playing with that. But putting this down actually does change a couple things for him that are actually useful to just fight without it. Obviously, you don't really gain, he doesn't hit as hard, but he does gain some other advantages that his natural playstyle does not take advantage of. Couple things, it just changes your frame data. So let's look at a few moves on block. Let's just talk about that. So we got, first thing I want to talk about is his back two. So his back two, I actually like his back two. It's slow, but it's a mid that launches. So it's 26 frame startup, so it's rather slow, but it is plus on block. So if they block it, it's still your turn. And if they're in the air, sometimes they'll get smacked out of air, you get a full combo. So it's something I want to, you want to keep in the back pocket. You don't want to just like throw it out there all crazy, because it is very slow, get blown up very easily. You're very vulnerable if you're doing it at certain distances, but if you keep it at a certain distance, it's actually not that bad of an option. You kind of surprise some people. And again, plus on block, can't beat that. +3, and it puts you right in front of them. Stand one's good. Stand two is also good when after you do this, because they really don't have an answer for it. They kind of just gotta respect it or mash. Back three is a little more viable because it kind of shades it down to like 17 frames, but really it's the stand one, stand two I'm after at that point. He's got some, so that's one thing. Another one is the 4-2. This one is horrendous. I never use this button. It's -32 on block. Like as soon as you do it, you explode. So it's not great. Another one is back one, which I do use, -7, relatively safe. It's a good mid, 14 frame mid. It's definitely useful in the game overall. So these are some moves that get altered. So back two gets altered, 4-2, and your back one. When you put the sword down, all those things change. All right, so the 4-2, so the 4-2, let's talk about that. 4-2 is an overhead. It's just a really bad one. When you put the sword down, it turns into a good one. On block still, it's -6, so it is safe, and it's 16 frames as opposed to 20. So that makes it a little more useful. It's definitely faster, more unreactable, and it launches, unlike the other 4-2 that does not launch. So let's talk about that. So now all of a sudden, now you got combo start off the 4-2 that you didn't have before when you put the sword down. So now you can get a full combo here. Not amazing damage, but that's meterless. You can always, probably sauce it up somewhere, but that ain't even the point I'm going after. All of a sudden he still got and he still has the back three. So now you got a 50-50. When he puts the sword down, you got a 50-50. You got the back three. You can do down back three. You can do some stuff with that. So you can be like, all right, so back three you do have to spin the bar, but you can like, boom and catch them, throw them on the sword like you always do. Boom, you get 33.4 or whatever, 33% basically. So you got that, and you got the 4-2. You can get a meterless launch, and I'm sure there's something more optimal. I just haven't looked for it yet. But either way, you get a 50-50 now. Now you got an unreactable overhead that you gotta respect, that's safe on block, and you got a back three that's safe on block. So now all of a sudden he's got 2 ways to open you up safely. All you gotta do is confirm. So that's useful. What's another thing that's useful? So that back two I was talking about that launches, it still launches when you put the sword down. So back two, boom, still launches. Not only does it still launch, it's a full combo, but check this out. Before it was 26 frames, now it's 15. 15 frame launcher now. And even when it's 15 frames, it's still +3 on block. So now it's +3 on block, launches 15 frame mid, plus on block. That's crazy. So now all of a sudden, now you got, if they're even trying to disrespect you on wake up, boom, launched. And it's +3, which means what? 13 frame overhead now. Shaves off 3 frame startup. You got 3 frame advantage. Now that 16 frames is really 13. That's crazy for an overhead launcher. And your back three is now kind of equivalent to 17 frames. So now you got that 50-50 becomes even more oppressive. Granted, you got to get into it quick because you only got like 6 seconds, right? So it's like, okay, well now I got into that situation. Now you talked about all this useful stuff with it. How do I get there? Same way you do your other stuff. So let's say, what's a good combo? So you do, let's say you're doing your stand 1-2, right? Your stand 1-2 starter to your regular stuff. You do stand 1-2, down 4-4, right? 2-2, down 4-2, boom. Regular combo, boom, boom, boom. 291, right? Basic General Shao combo. Instead of doing that, you keep the sword out, right? You do down 2, you do the same starter, dash forward, 1-2. Now they knock down right in his face. Now you're right here. Back 1, back 2 hit. Your back, your forward 2 hits, your back 3 hits. Show you that again. Dash up. Now I can go forward 2, boom. Back 1, and right there. I dropped it, but you get the point. Point is they're right there in your face. Launch them. Right here. Back 2, back 1. Right back where you started, same kind of thing. Dash up, 1-2, 4-2, same kind of thing. Now the party started. You can do that same thing off the back 3. I did it too early, but yeah. Point is, it's viable. It's a viable option, right? Okay. So yeah, I got to figure that out a little bit, but that's the point. Is like these options are very viable. So you can be like, that extra hit in there, whatever. And then this is pretty good damage. You know, you get like 348 off that. That's pretty good. So all of these are options like based off putting down the sword. You know, you can basically keep it your turn, because after you do that that 1-2, you got mad hit advantage right here. Like you can, you know, like you can take a couple steps, you can get closer to them, you can back off. You think they're gonna wake up, you can kind of bait it, and it's still your turn. So this is just like an easy way to kind of use that sword stuff, like use those other buttons in a way that's useful. That you know, doesn't kind of just you just putting the sword down going crazy. You can actually use it in a way that's like safe and effective, and still kind of like, you know, play Shao's game. And you don't have to play at this all the time, but it's like a good way to like give your opponent something else to look at, something else to think about. Maybe they're not, you know, most people are going to be blocking low against Shao anyway, because his only viable button that's an overhead or a low is his back 3. So they're just going to be blocking for that. So all of a sudden you put that sword down, they're still thinking like that. You surprise them with that forward 2. Next thing you know, they got to start thinking about that. And you hit him with that back 3 and unleash that real damage. So that's something to think about. I just wanted to put that out there as a little tip for playing General Shao, for all those Shao players out there. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with the character, but I found this and I thought it would be useful to talk about like how to actually use those buttons in a way that's viable for the character. All right, yeah. Let me know if you like this. You know, drop a comment, whatever you want. I'll let you later. Klops out.